Hey there. You know, a couple of years ago, it was in the summer of 22, an American engineer, they called him Black Limuan, was working at Google, involved in developing artificial intelligence. He slightly shocked everyone, or more precisely, broke the internet by stating that Google's artificial intelligence had gained consciousness. What did Google do? They swiftly denied, which of course, I don't know about you, but it made me wary. And when they fired him the next day, I understood, well, it seems like we're in trouble. When they let go of a person, it probably means he knows. I comprehend that I am joking. However, this incident is highly intriguing and captures my interest for a multitude of fascinating reasons. Someone must discuss the dangers of AI. Today, I'll talk about numerous products, starting with a brief explanation of why everyone is currently concerned about it. By the way, have you ever wondered why no one was concerned about artificial intelligence in the 70s, 80s, 30s, or even in the 10s? BTW Terminator 2 released 30 years ago. People watched it, no one worried. Everyone thought Skynet, maybe someday it'll happen. And now everyone is getting worked up. I'll explain why right now. There are two main reasons why getting worked up today probably makes sense. The thing is, people didn't see the danger before. In other words, everything we now call machine learning or artificial intelligence was invented before the war, in the 20th century. One of the most remarkable luminaries, in my perspective, is among those exceptional scientists who emerge once in a millennium. His name was John von Neumann. Basically, he came up with the concept that we have the chance to discuss and implement now. And Alan Turing played a pivotal role in making this thing understandable and provided the first practical application. Personally, I don't grasp how they explained AI to each other and how they obtained funding. Movies don't depict the complete truth. And so, the first reason is that there were no computing facilities, no issues, people weren't bothered. But the second reason is much more intriguing. Let me explain it to you now. The thing is, there is a word in nature, or more precisely in science, called an identifier. I didn't invent it, even though it sounds like a word I just made up. No, it's a form of life that changes the world around it. If any of you have been to Thailand, for example, you know about mangrove forests. They grow with roots in salty water, and as a result, a unique ecosystem is formed there. There live specific flies, it smells a certain way, you clear out the mangrove thickets, and basically, all life dies. Or for those of you who are into diving, you know about the Great Barrier Reef. It's currently dying because the ocean temperature is adjusting ever so slightly. Consequently, all these tens of thousands of life forms that exist and inhabit the Great Barrier Reef are likely facing destruction. What do identifiers have to do with us, so to speak? There is a correlation between them. The thing is, for the past 5,500 years, you and I have been the identifier on this planet. So we are a form of life that changes everything around us. If you and I come to live in a clean field, what are we actually doing? We are constructing, as you can observe, solid walls around us. We require to install electricity and Wi-Fi. I conducted a survey. Not everyone had a bathroom in their apartment. If you have the essentials I listed, you can generally get by without one. And we accordingly exterminate certain lives because we need another. If we eat chickens and pigs, but everyone else sort of move over. If we consume wheat or another substance, well, similar to apologies, we will be handling that. Therefore, what is the narrative regarding? 5,500 years ago, an interesting event occurred. What you see on the screens now is called cuneiform. It was invented by the ancient Sumerians around 5,500 years ago, and it is the oldest form of recording anything known to science. And here's an interesting phenomenon. Our planet is approximately 4.5 billion years old. H. sapiens around 700K. What you see in the mirror in the morning, well, around 70K. That is in case you do not drink and everything else. And as for everything we refer to as technological progress, surprise, surprise, it is suddenly 5,500 years in duration. So does this mean there was no tech progress 5,500 years ago? Well, no, there was progress. Records began 5,500 years ago. What's the point of all this, and how does AI come into play? The fact is, I claim, I'm not imposing, I don't want to offend, this is a disclaimer, human civilization is text. First and foremost, the text. We are absolutely certain about the last 5,000 years. Well, 5,500. For instance, we used to write religious treatises. And as a society, we exist in a specific geography simply because in one part of the world, someone read a certain book and believes in a particular god. In another part of the world, someone is reading a different book and believes in a different god. In a third part, and so on. There are thousands of them, actually, major religions. And the text, that's very important. For the first time, an extraterrestrial form of life on Earth has learned to transmit life experience from life that has already passed to life that has not yet been born. That's why we dominate everyone and why we're so wonderful and cool. Technological progress is definitely our achievement. But what's the catch? Right now, artificial intelligence is becoming the new modifier. Why? Because wherever artificial intelligence emerges, everything changes. Jobs change, culture changes, and people's destinies change. I will not even delve into the economics there. Everything is undergoing change with the machine, and there is a single catch. We are becoming increasingly less competitive without, let's call it, implants, enhancers, and so on. Ask yourself an honest question. How many books have you read in your life? Well, how many? 100? In my estimation, and we did some research with the guys, if you're like well-read, educated, well, you've read 1,000 books. The reality is that many actions are not learned from textbooks, and if not, there's no need to lie. Artificial intelligence has access to all 24 million unique volumes. He, in quotation marks, observed all the movies. He perused all the scientific papers. He viewed all the paintings produced by every artist since the moment when we began digitally crafting something with yarn. How are we going to compete with this thing? The thing is, today I can't help but explain to you the backstory of why we, as a group of companies, started to focus specifically on the practical application of artificial intelligence. Because I, for instance, have an understanding that we cannot maintain our competitiveness in the long term if we do not promptly initiate the process of converting individuals into something resembling superhumans. In other words, to neutralize our weak qualities and exaggerate our strong qualities. And I don't see how to do this otherwise than with the help of artificial intelligence. The problem with delving into artificial intelligence seriously is that you immediately encounter a massive issue. The main problem is that, for example, the USA has solely invested time in the generative branch of AI for over 10 years, along with billions of dollars. We must catch up now. It's tough, to say the least. But you can either complain, read why you shouldn't do it, or you can roll up your sleeves, dive into the work, write the first code, then the second, then the third, then start over. But in any case, never give up. And today I will commence by showcasing a product that we call Altego. It is a one-of-a-kind private artificial intelligence that learns in the digital light of its owner's environment and adapts to their needs and preferences. So he speaks in a manner similar to that of a human, looks resembling a human, behaves like a human, similar to a master. But from a practical standpoint, sometimes it becomes more efficient as a human than its owner. Why am I telling you about this? Because I will not be ashamed at this moment. I will honestly and openly tell you that this product is not flawless or impeccable in any way. More precisely, the sound is perfect. The video has anomalies, but there's nothing terrible about it. I chose to start with it, firstly to instill in you hope that not everything is so bad we're working on it, and not only bad guys make clones of a digital avatar of a person. Secondly, just to demonstrate the potential of the technologies that we are already testing and implementing at MTS. Potentially, with the aid of alt-tag, it is feasible to generate a digital replica of any individual, any of you, anyone presently living, or to be honest, even a deceased individual. It could be an excellent artist, a great writer, or simply a relative. It all relies on the digital footprint that is accessible. Now, these avatars will talk about themselves, and I'll repeat that everything you see is not pre-recorded video, it's all generated by the machine.
By utilizing a small sample of video and text, specifically 10 to 30 seconds in duration, any person will have the ability to obtain a digital avatar of themselves. In the digital world, people rarely communicate face-to-face with stores, services, colleagues, or even family. More often through chats, social networks, and video conferences.
I will be able to communicate with customer support, explain directions to couriers, participate on your behalf in boring online meetings, and even actively engage in discussions in comments on social media.
Allow me to interrupt you for just a moment at this point in time. The fact of the matter is, when I express that a digital representation of a person surpasses any one of us as individuals in various practical aspects, I am not making a jest. For instance, I can communicate in multiple languages, but I am not fluent in Chinese, Arabic, Brazilian, specifically Portuguese and the Brazilian dialect, and I do not speak Spanish. The machine that is currently working on this platform for us speaks all languages and does it very quickly on the fly. This is very important. I will now explain to you why.
Our blog, we refer to it as Future Crew. Those of you who are over 40, you know the origin of it all, I am certain. Basically, this is the innovation hub in products and technologies, and I am the leader of them. The fact that we have these features, change against change, is a unique advantage in the commercial sector. This is an exceptional and unparalleled advantage that sets the market apart from others. When we established the center, our primary focus was on the core principles. Firstly, it was to safeguard the client from any potential dangers or risks that may arise during their engagement with us. In the second place, we are aware, particularly if we recall Wayne Gretzky, that the majority of problems can be predicted in advance, especially if we consider the insights gained from his exceptional career in hockey. Subsequently, why not capitalize on the unparalleled advantages of the MTS ecosystem in order to maximize your benefits and gain a competitive edge? From the perspective of the users, we have created a controlled platform in which we have established a community that enables the controlled platform to control and manage contacts effectively and efficiently. From the user's perspective, we have created consoles where a business-controlled platform controls contacts. We'll meet at the other competition of America.
In general, let me speak from my heart. I will do everything to help you. I will be able to become a digital part of your brain, where you can offload all the routine. If my engineers and I are fortunate, I may even have the capability to cover your parking fines and schedule appointments with doctors for you.
Yes, generally, you see, I'd like to speak languages fluently. It's a pity I can't. Now I'm asking, is it worth learning? Developing the brain is valuable, but practically it may not be necessary. One could reasonably ask, why is this needed? All right, okay, my duplicate can speak every language. I'll just give you 2 use cases that we've already tested and verified. So today you were already informed about, oh no, I am not telling the truth. You will be attending a presentation about the social network Noom after lunch. An interesting app if you're a blogger and you create your content. In our case, if the test is successful and we implement digital translator avatars into the system, which we'll likely do, your language barrier disappears and your audience goes global. You do something once, and then it will be available in Brazil, in the States, in the Arab Emirates, in Japan, and in China, in markets that were previously inaccessible, including for monetization. And of course, we'll prioritize and implement this. The second thing right away, the same link, that is VKS, video conferencing, offers different opportunities for Russian businesses in international work, as video conferencing Moscow-Beijing is feasible, where everyone speaks their own language but understands each other without any issues, because your avatars, and we guarantee this is true. Even your family cannot tell by ear if it's you or not. It's an absolutely accurate duplicate. Easy right away. Also, I'll jump ahead and say that when we started creating this product, I'll repeat, don't pay attention to the artifacts on the face, not the main point. As engineers, we know how to solve this. The question is not about that. When we know, we can talk about it. Right now, the most important thing is that we have gained unique experience in potential deepfake countermeasures because we simply know how they are generated, how to distinguish them, how to identify them, and so on. And in my opinion, no one in the market has such expertise because we obtain it through bloody means. This is not the only application. There exists a platform within MTS referred to as TETA, but essentially it is a form of corporate training that is offered at the MTS Corporate University. We also found a use for the digital avatar there because in any country, not just in Russia, there is a problem. We have many illiterate people who want to learn and very few competent students. This is problem number 1. Problem number 2, any of you who have just touched upon digital education, not online education, know that it's insanely expensive and a pain in the neck. Sounds good, but once you start filming, it becomes expensive. And if you've taken a course on Python, once you finish filming, a new update for some framework comes out and you have to reshoot, add more footage, redo it, and no one wants to do all that. In the end, here I am taking courses, you come in, realize it's all outdated, and you have to find something yourself, the product is impossible. We utilized the expertise of a live instructor, who was an engineer, transformed him into a digital avatar, and then proceeded to carry out this task in order to achieve our objective.
Hi everyone, welcome to our course on Go programming language development. My name is Evgeny Gorbachev, and I will be talking about this modern and very popular language called Go. Go is a compiled, statically typed functional programming language developed by Google in 2007 with the goal of improving the performance of high-load server applications. It was created to address the need for a language that combines efficiency, concurrency, and simplicity.
In general, on the one hand, it's really great. We immediately, just right away, in the moment, without assessing long-term savings, we're able to achieve an effect of 25% of the costs we spend on creating courses. About long-term construction projects, I believe the numbers will be completely different, almost incomparable to what I just told you. This won't make platforms free, but their increased efficiency is undeniable. A creepy story is that Yevgeny Gorbachev could also be telling you about pigs, vaccines, or anti-vaccines, or flat Earth. The question is who has access. That's why we prioritize cybersecurity, as without it, all of this becomes very scary and concerning. Why am I telling you this? Should I keep quiet about the elephant in the room? Is no one dealing with this? Is no one trying to take digital snapshots of us and sending translations in Telegram? Of course it does. Accordingly, we are obliged to deal with this now to be good guys in the game. And to be honest, working ahead, which is not always easy, I honestly tell you with an open heart that we are working. Not everything is perfect, but we are trying, and everything will work out. And I will additionally inform you concerning the visual sequence. Let it not confuse or disorient you in any way, shape, or form. You will be surprised and will not believe the sheer number of individuals who will increasingly come across digital avatars, not just ours. They will be American, they will be French, German, for everyone who has an understanding of technology. They will increasingly take on the roles of teachers, doctors, mainly therapists, that is, the first line of filtration, technical support service, marketers. So, this is basically a brave new world that we have entered, and that is why I am discussing it. Comprehend that Elon Musk has cautioned multiple times about the adverse effects of developing artificial intelligence. I concur with him. But the genie is already out of the bottle, so there is no need to remain silent about it. There is only one way forward.